trip then, right? So it's a festival in the States, no connection to the band Power Trip, might I add. So there's a pretty popular thrash band called Power Trip. Never listened to their music, I've heard it's good. But no connection to that band. But, so it's a metal festival over 3 days that has 6 bands, and that's it. Do, do, you, do you see the issue here immediately?
Do they just play over and over and over again? Like,
I don't know. I'm gonna pull up the lineup, and I'll point out all the bands bar one are really really old. So yeah, here we go. Friday night. So they only play the night. Here's who you get: Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden.
Guns and Roses and I. Okay, okay. Keep
Not
on rolling.
not a
What?
good start. I turned down for the
Yeah,
Iron Maiden tickets and for next month. That if that tells you everything you need to know about my opinion of Iron Maiden.
yeah.
Saturday night, the first band is also not metal like Guns N' Roses. AC/DC and Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy, who walks
This
a
isn't
retaining.
metal. This is rock.
Iron Maiden are, and you can argue Ozzy is, but the first two aren't. Uh,
That's true. Iron Maiden and Ozzy are, but
I mean,
like, okay,
Ozzy's
keep going.
guitarist was what's his name? Oh my god, that's awful. I'm blanking on his name. Zach Wild, who I do quite like Zach Wild, so I'll give that.
Yeah, yeah, but keep
Saturday,
going. Keep
Sunday
going.
night is the best night by far, because the second band on that I would pay money to see. I do really like like they're like a top three band for me. But the Sunday night are Metallica and Tool.
Okay, no, that's solid.
I don't care for Metallica, like, but if you could buy like a 1 day ticket for like, let's say 50 quid or something, well actually let's say 80 to see Metallica and Tool, I'd consider that because I would really like to see Tool. However, the issue comes about when you get to ticket prices, because my
Oh god.
god. So general admission, which is right at the back, like they actually have like a seating plan for this, all the way at the back, you can barely see anything. That will cost you $600 with fees. And
Okay, I don't. Yeah, let's not go.
and to
Fucking hell.
camp, just to tent, be allowed to tent camp or car camp, that's another $200 with fees. If you want to be in the mosh pit, that will be $1,599 with fees. Those fees end up being like another 200.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah. The most of it is seating, and that goes from $800 to $3,308  34 cents with fees, of course. Most of it is seated because they know most of the people going here are old as shit, because those are the kinds of people who want to see these bands. Uh,
Yeah, that's
Tool are like the really one that's out of place though, because like, what old person wants to see Tool? I mean, the band with the song "Hooker with a Penis."
no. Actually, I do know some people who are like Gen X that like Tool.
Yeah, I mean they were a '90s band, but you know,
Yeah, yeah,
but the thing is, like, they just look out of place with, well, Iron Maiden, like they were '70s, right? '70s, early '80s, I want to say.
late 70s, early 80s is
Yeah,
when they started. But
yeah,
I mean, I listened to them too. It's just like I don't think they all their good stuff sort of came out
yeah.
like in
Ages
the
ago.
90s, but
Oh, not even
by the 90s.
by the night yet, but like way before. Guns N' Roses are '80s, right? Uh,
Yeah,
Metallica
yeah,
are '80s. Like
yeah.
their last good album was very late '80s. Uh, Ozzy, he when did I don't know a single thing about his solo projects, so I can't comment on
Uh,
those. But Sabbath
I
were
mean,
'70s.
yeah, yeah. Black Sabbath was 70s, so like I would say that of all those people, Ozzy to me seems like the oldest.
Yeah, but he won't be playing his Sabbath stuff. It's his solo stuff, so that'll be 80s. I want to say. I know Metallica
Yeah, I
did
mean, he
tour with
had
him.
some stuff in the '90s and like the aughts too,
I
but
know he
like,
released an
yeah.
album not that long ago. But like, yeah,
Did he?
but like his yeah, it's the stuff he's known for in his solo project. Again, like 80s. AC/DC, I want to say, or 70s. Well, don't quote me on that one. I'm not too
I
familiar with him. I'm not a fan.
feel like they're '80s, but yeah, no, late '70s, early '80s, maybe. Hard to say,
So yeah,
but yeah,
Tool are like way out of place
yeah.
because
And that
what there's
price is fucking mental.
oh yeah, but like if we're just talking about yeah the bands, probably excluding Tool, the best album to come out of any of them would probably be Injustice for All, like the most recent best album any of them did, which was what 89. So that was probably before Tool even formed. So that's why I think they're so out of place. Like I'm trying to think who would have been a better option to fit with this lineup. Judas Priest maybe. Megadeth maybe. Those two seem like they're with people of who would be wanting to see all these bands. They're probably like more favorable than Tool, and I know Priest do still go. So those probably would have been a better choice than Tool. Not that I'm complaining. Tool are a top three band for me. Love Tool, but they just seem out
Okay.
of place. But that price point is just fucking mental. Like for comparison, being right at the back, what was it, $600? I'm going to Bloodstock this year. That was 150 with camping. The camping's an extra 100 onto your things with $700 to camp and to see six bands. That's crazy. That's fucking madness to me, especially because
Yeah.
I'm seeing more bands at Bloodstock, and I'm seeing more bands I like at Bloodstock because of what the three headliners there this year are Killswitch Engage, who oh god, Killswitch probably a top five band for me. Fucking love Killswitch Engage. Meshuggah, who are really good, and Megadeth, who probably my second favorite in the big four. Like them much better than Metallica. Slayer's still number one for big four at least, but much better than Metallica. And I'm aware you're a Megadeth fan, but like yeah, that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so much better. And like even like the second headliners are just better than a lot of these ones. Like I pull it up right. In Flames, who have got some really good stuff in their older discography. The one of the Celtic Frost guys playing Celtic Frost songs. Not familiar with Celtic Frost, won't comment on that one. And Halloween, who are pretty solid. Though that day with Megadeth and Halloween also has Sepultura and Decapitated, who are also really good.
Yeah,
Secret,
I mean, it does sound like
the better deal,
the
yeah.
Bloodstock. Yeah, is much much better deal. Holy shit.
Like yeah, it's just the difference is crazy to me. Or hell, you could go to Hellfest in France, which has three stages, I think, and they have just if I pull up the Hellfest lineup, it's I think it's less, and yeah, they've got way more going on. Let's see, so they've got 4 days, uh, six stages. I mean, they've got Iron Maiden on there. Uh, like they've got Pucifer, which is one of Maynard from Tool's bands. They've got let's see, Amon Amarth, Slipknot, who I'm not a fan of, but you know they are what they are. You've got Iron Maiden. If you want your really old bands, they've got Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and Kiss. On some of the lower bands, you've got lower stages. You've got Pantera, Electric Callboy, Powerwolf. I know quite a lot of people like. I'm still not too familiar with them. In Flames, who I said were pretty good. Who else you got? Ghost Inside aren't bad. Municipal Waste are really good. Um, Testament. Oh, Testament are good. You've got Meshuggah, Dark Angel, Exodus, Vector are fucking top tier. They've got a band called Alistair. Uh, like yeah, it's just like, and I think that it's cheaper to go here than it is to go the other place like shop. Are tickets still available? No clue. The website's in French, so I can't comment. But I doubt it costs more than $600. But like, yeah, you've got so many better options. And I mean, like, the only reason I can see anyone would go is if you are American. But even then, like, for that price, you could go to France. So like,
Yeah.
one, you could visit another country, or Britain or Germany if you want to go to Vaken or Vaken, however you pronounce it, or whatever. Like, you get the experience of going to another country, and you're going to see way more bands for what, maybe slightly more. And even then, like, America's such a big place. Like, this is in California. I can see there's like, if you live in Florida, there's no fucking reason to go to this. Just like go to the UK or something, or France, Germany, Belgium. I've got grass pop now. You've got Metal Days in Slovenia. I think 50,000 tons comes. Yeah, 50,000 tons comes from Miami, which is a cruise with it's a metal festival. I can't do cruises, so I won't say that's a great choice. I get sick. I've been on a cruise once and I got really sick on it, but
Yeah, yeah.
it was just the boat rock and just I felt really sick that entire cruise. I fucking hate it.
I
Uh,
can imagine that.
I literally just spent one of the days just lying inside of sleeping and watching Ghostbusters. Wasn't terrible
Oh,
actually. Ghostbusters is really
yeah.
solid, but no, it's just like it's such an odd choice of like that fucking price. I think it's quite clearly just designed for boomers who can actually afford to that, because anyone under the age of 20 can't. So you know that mosh pit, like those what $14,000 mosh pit tickets. That pit is just going to be 50-year-old men who can barely move. It'll be the world's slowest mosh pit.
Yeah. One of the things is, I don't know, like in America these days, it sounds like with inflation, like everybody is feeling like everything costs too damn much and it's time to burn society down. And I don't know, if I was in that kind of mindset and then I saw like this thing where it's like there's six fucking bands over 3 days and it's $1,500 for the proper tickets. Holy shit. I don't, man.
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
put it this way, right? I bought tickets to All In, the AEW show they're doing in Wembley, right? I think I paid about, so I have a ticket. My dad said he'd go with. He wanted to go with me, so we're both going. So for my ticket for that, I think I paid about 125. That's bank. Like, I have no money now. Like 125 for probably the biggest wrestling show we've had since SummerSlam '92. That means I have no money. So, and like, I'm pretty decent at saving my money, right? So I can't
Yeah.
imagine anyone my fucking age being able to spend $1,400 to go see five really old and one slightly old band. Like, paying £40 to see a band in Glasgow is like, that's expensive for me. Let alone
Yeah.
increasing that by more than 10 times. It's just, that's wild. Hell, for the, like I said, that £40 is more. Like a lot, like you have to times that by 15 just to get to the sit at the back at this. Which is just like,
Fucking
what?
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, what? I mean, I saw Gojira in February, right? And it was Gojira, Alien Weaponry, who are really fucking good, might I add, and Employed to Serve, who I do not care for. Those are two really good bands, and one who's like kind of mid, pretty mid, right? And I
Yeah.
paid £40 for that. Well, I got them. They're worth £40. I got as a birthday present, right? £40. So why would you pay 15 times more for five bands who definitely cannot keep up? Like, fucking Iron Maiden. Like, if you actually, people have like taken their newer albums and sped them up, and they sound better because quite clearly they're too old to play the riffs now. And I mean, the speculation is that Ozzy's gonna have to do the entire thing sitting down. Uh,
Holy shit.
you, you,
That
you know when you know Foo Fighters, right? You know when Dave Grohl had to do that one show with like a leg cast on, sitting down, and he just played guitar
Oh
that way.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not a
Because
Foo
he broke
Fighters,
his leg.
yeah, not a Foo Fighters guy. Never listened to them, right? But like I'm aware he did that. That's how they're gonna looking at having it done. Is that Ozzy's gonna have to like they're gonna have to like build a really big set for Ozzy where he just sits down the entire time, which is just. I'm just gonna go out and say it, right? I'm not a huge Ozzy Osbourne fan, and like this is getting embarrassing at this point. Like he has a he reminds me of Ric Flair at this point, in that he just can't give it up even though he's way too fucking old. And I'm saying this as someone who, even in his prime, I don't really care for him. Like, I don't know, Black Sabbath just never clicked with me, and this is fucking ridiculous. The 6 bands? What? How? How the fuck can, like, what? It's madness. Like these 6 headliners, I'd be already go if like there was other bands playing, I'd already be going, that's kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie, because they're so old, but like there's no other bands. What? Like, how do you do a festival with 6 bands? It gives the impression no one else returned their calls.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't sound ideal.
Especially
Sounds pretty bad.
also it's in October, which is like, who's going to metal festivals in October? Can you do it in the summer? That's a minor point. That's a minor point. But even then, it's like there are bands who are like doing a lot of the a lot of the European festivals this year. Like I know Killswitch are doing Bloodstock. I think they're doing Graspop and Vaken as well. In Flames, I said we're doing Bloodstock and Hellfest. So how you weren't able to go like get Killswitch and In Flames, for example, as like, hey, all right, we've got 9 bands this time. We've got an extra one for each day. It's like the band who opens for these really big ones. Like how you couldn't even do that is just that's fucking, and especially how much they're charging. It's like it's not like they're losing money. Like with how much you're charging, I'm sure you can afford to get another few bands.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's the
It,
whole thing just sounds like pretty crap. Actually,
it sounds like an
I think
absolute piss
mid. I
take.
think mid is a little bit too good for it.
Yeah, well, I'm saying the lineup is mid.
Oh
The
yeah,
festival
yeah,
itself is like, what the fuck? Like that. This is insane. Like
yeah. How does?
it comes off like a money laundering scheme almost. Like, or at least it's quite clearly like, to me, it comes off as people who aren't metalheads made this, because it's even the name. I said Power Trip. There's a band called Power Trip. If you know if you were like really into metal scene, you'd know Power Trip are a band, because they're probably the biggest thrash band to come out since thrash died in the 90s. Because there was the new wave of thrash that happened in like mid 2000s, and it's still going to an extent. And there's some really good bands who have come out of that, but the biggest by far is Power Trip. So like if you were into metal scene, you'd know Power Trip are a fucking band, or you could at least fucking look it up. And you know, but naming your festival after a band probably is not a good idea. Because
Yeah,
quite literally, everyone when they talk about this has to go Power Trip, not the band. That's the first thing that gets said every time, and it's just yeah, it's just what the fuck are you doing? And you see if it came out right that this was like this was a festival that was made by some like Saudi company or something, trying to get into the music festival market in America, would not surprise me in the slightest. Like that's how it comes off, as like they literally just picked the biggest bands in like metal and like hard rock, and just even if they're too old, and just went, there you go. Because look, like I've been seeing Tool right place, but they're pretty big. Like when it comes to '90s bands in like the metal and the hard rock kind of scene, like they're one of the biggest. Uh, so yeah, it's just like yeah, it comes off like a Saudi or a Chinese company trying to get into this kind of market where it's they don't understand the culture around it. They just think they can just hire the biggest guys and there you go, we're done. Which is,
Yeah, that does
I mean,
happen.
that's been their attitude in football because for quite a lot of football teams have been bought up by Saudi companies and they just hire the biggest players and they end up not doing great. Man City, PSG, uh, where yeah, it's I think that's how a lot of these Saudi companies think is that they just we'll just hire the biggest people and there you go, we're done. And it's like that's not how it works. You don't just
Throw money at it
yeah,
and just make it.
throwing money at it doesn't just work. That's just you, that's not how you do it. And it's embarrassing, and I don't. It's like I'd be asking a question. I don't know who wants to go to this, but the real question is I don't know who can afford to go to this. Because like even if you want to go, which I don't know why anyone would, no one can afford to go. Like I was saying, I wouldn't mind going to like the first day if it was like 80 quid or something. But like they don't even do day tickets. Like Bloodstock offer day tickets. Most festivals
Wait, they
off.
don't even offer day tickets?
No, you have to buy all 3 days.
Oh God.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like it's just what the fuck are you doing? That's not even day ticket options, and like most festivals offer that. I mean, like when I'm saying 50,000 tons of metal of the cruise one, they can't really offer it for obvious reasons. But like most festivals that are in one place offer day tickets, and it's just minor stuff like that that makes me really think these guys have never booked a metal, not even a metal festival, a music festival ever in their lives. This is someone who has no clue about it. Is it's not in a scene or anything. Just has nothing to do with this at all, and they just think, oh, it's easy. You just go in, you just hire Metallica, and there you go. Everyone goes. Uh,
That's that's sad. I hope you don't mind if I give like a little bit of like an anecdote about
Go ahead.
my doujinshi hobby stuff. It's pertinent. It's pertinent.
I'll take your word on it.
It's pertinent. But no, the understanding and having respect for like a subculture or like, just the people that attend something, right?
Yeah.
Is huge. Um, and so like I've been going to, Dojin selling event things for like holy shit. I think for as long as you've been alive.
Oh, Andrew feeling old moment.
I had to feel old moment, right? But there's this one event uh that I loved. And it's because, the subject material is good, but also like the people running it, they understand, right? And they care. Um and that makes all the difference, right? Like so like listen to this thing with like the rock festival you're talking about like what was it called?
Power trip.
The Yeah, Power Trip. It sounds like garbage because they don't actually A, they don't sound like they know metal, and B, it doesn't sound like they care what metal fans like or need or want or could appreciate or would appreciate, right?
Yeah.
But to give you like an example, right? Like imagine you're a guy who's going out to buy doujinshi at like, an event, right?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, you don't know what doujinshi is. Okay. Uh uh for the sake of this conversation, let's just say it's pornographic comic books.
Oh. Yeah, don't elaborate further.
Okay.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry. I'm not, gonna go into details on like the contents, right? But like,
Yeah,
let's say you're going to one of these events, right? Where people are, selling their own self-published stuff, so it's like they only bring like limited, runs and that's it. And it's a small like indie scene, right?
yeah.
So like yeah, or imagine it's the equivalent of like a bunch of, indie rock people like that just do like the local underground, circuit, and you can go to a thing and they're all like selling their CDs and merch,
Oh,
right?
I've been to
Because
one
they
of
don't
those.
go through. Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Um and like for instance, they used to have this thing where they would get a book from each person that was selling books and then put them into plastic sleeves and have like a set aside table corner for you to read anything that came out at that event during the event, because sometimes people would only bring like 30 books. They'd sell out before you even came into the door.
All right, yeah,
Yeah, but these guys were like, well, if you came to the event and you didn't manage to buy the book you wanted to buy, like you should be able to read it at least, right?
yeah.
Like you can't take it home with you, but at least you can read it. Um,
And the
and they
plastics
do
to
a whole
cover
bunch of
the
other
semen.
stuff. What'd you say?
And the plastics to cover the semen. Because
Well, dude, no, you're not allowed to jerk it in like the hall, right? Like, I
they have a
no,
separate room. They
no.
have separate
Get
accommodation.
your mind out of the gutter, Alistair. You gotta.
You're the one telling me about pornographic books.
I'm keeping it classy here, but no, but that's the thing, right? Like, the reason I brought it up is, even with something where you're talking about like people, sweaty neckbeards going to buy their erotica or whatever. Um, it, do- what you might consider to be like a lesser fandom is you can
I
see
ain't
people
judging.
that
I ain't
care, and it
judging.
makes a difference, right?
Yeah,
It makes a huge difference.
yeah.
And that's not even the only thing they do. I could go into more detail about how they like the way they dealt with Corona was actually like really awesome. They have raffles at the end of the event, where you can get like posters. They're just like they go the extra mile to make it like a fun, friendly, inclusive environment where everybody can just enjoy. And the yeah, Power Trip sounds like the
Exact
literal
opposite.
opposite of that. It's like the literal opposite of that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It literally sounds like, yeah, so some like Saudi investor or something. And that's not to say like every local thing is like amazing. Like the Mouse United I'm probably most associated with, I probably associate the most with, is the Dundee one in Scotland, and it has some fucking issues. Uh, Nepotism run wild, my god, but it's still like one of the better ones in Scotland. Uh, Scotland has a big issue where, because our geography is like we have cities, right, but like they're so far apart because of how our geography is, that it makes some bands like difficult to see. Where like if you live in Florida, for example, right, or like the distance between like Miami and Orlando and stuff, it's like it's easier to get between them. While like how it is in Scot, and there's like towns in between and stuff in Scotland, right? It's like if you want to go from fucking, I don't know, Dundee to Glasgow, there's nothing in between. You might go through Perth, and that's about it. There's not much. You will have huge bits of driving where there is nothing, and that's just how our geography is, and it makes it really difficult to go to any of our scenes. So like, yeah, that's the issue we have, like especially in Dundee, is that because there's so much nepotism, it's like, all right, I'll tell a story, right, and I'm not gonna say the band's names just because I'm friends with some of them, and I also like will share rooms with some of the ones I'm about to shit talk. I'm gonna say one of the band's names because I don't like them, like as people and as a band. The uh,
Okay.
the other one I will shit talk, I have very briefly talked to one of the guitar stuff, and he's a very nice man. And
Okay.
his side project is really good. One of the guitars has a gent side project, and it's very good. I won't name it, not because I don't want to shout him out, but because I don't want his main band to be shit talked. Uh,
Yeah, I feel you on that.
so there's a so how Bloodstock work is they have three stages, right? They have the big stage where you have, say, on day one you'll have your kill switch and you're in flames and stuff. Then we'll
Yeah.
have a second stage which is smaller stuff, and then on the third stage they run a competition before the festival called Metal to the Masses, where they go all around the UK in their different scenes, and in other countries as well, and they hold competitions in each small area, and eventually people will go through stages, and eventually whoever wins gets to play at Bloodstock, right? So in the Dundee scene they held two, where it was the first one, and you could enter in, and then the two bands who won competed with two other bands from another bit of Scotland, and the one band from that went to Edinburgh, and whoever wins in Edinburgh gets to play at Bloodstock. And there's bands I like who have gone through it. Like there's a Frashter, metalcore, a band in like this scene called Catalysis. Pretty solid band. I actually own a shirt of theirs. They played at Bloodstock last year because of it. Alright, there's actually the band who I'm using as outro music now called Nassau. They got to the final of it one year. Because they have a song called Satan, top tier
Mhm.
Kino. That's literally our outro song now, because we have to only use indie music. Uh, but
Yeah.
so this year, uh, my guitar teacher's band was entered into it, so I went to these shows. So the first one, I'm not gonna say any of the names, so I'm just gonna say blank blank. Ugandan moonshine epidemic. I think that's what they were called. I'm fine saying their name because those guys are cunts, and it was some other one. And my guitar teacher's band. Actually, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna tell the story. Actually, I'm just gonna tell the first part because I don't want them to be any of the bands to be identifiable. Because I'm gonna look like a huge asshole if I just go, oh, and this is where it went, so you can go find this yourself, so you know who I don't like. I'm just gonna tell the part about Ugandan Ebola crisis. Uh, I think it's called Moonshine Epidemic. I literally was just making offensive jokes about Africa with their name, where it'd be Ugandan no water crisis, and that's like the shit I'd be calling them. Uh, but yeah, no, those guys are cunts. So first they came to a competition called Metal to the Masses. Not being fans of metal, telling everyone on stage they don't like metal, and they played punk. But despite playing punk, one of the members was wearing a Supreme jersey. Very punk,
Uh,
guys. Apparently, the only reason they even get shows is because the bassist, who might add looked like a fucking pussy. I bet I could kick his ass despite the fact he was a few years older than me. I could beat the shit out of that guy, no issue. Looked like such a he looked like such a little bitch. That's harsh, but still. Apparently, like his dad is in another band in Dundee scene, and that's the only reason his Uganda, whatever they're called, get shows is literally because of his dad. Uh,
well, that's bullshit.
oh yeah, and they got loads of their friends to turn up, uh, who like started chanting the band's name and all that, despite playing a pretty mid show, might I add. Also, just I'm not a punk guy. Uh, then all their friends who showed up to see them then left after they stopped playing and didn't see any of the other bands. They literally showed up for their set and that was it. Then left, and then when all the other bands finished playing, they came back to vote for Ugandan, whatever they're called, and then left again. So someone was there to tell them when all the bands had stopped playing, so they could come back and vote. Like, what the fuck is wrong? You're actually an asshole for doing that. I don't have an issue if someone wants to walk out on a set that they don't like. I've done that many times, but it's the fact that like that they flat out it's like they didn't even listen to the next band who came afterwards, who weren't good, might I add. But like they just left immediately.
Yeah, it's
and
one thing to listen to a set and go, not my thing.
or
And it's
haven't
another
seen them.
thing to not even,
Yeah,
yeah.
and but then it was also someone was clearly there who must have texted them or something saying, "Everyone's done. Come back and vote for us." Because it was, yeah, when the final band was done, there's a new wave of all their mates coming back to vote for them. Where it's like, you're actually just an asshole. Like, go fuck yourself. That's all I've got to say to Ugandan moonshine epidemic and their fans, their mates. You're an asshole. And that this is the reason I have no issue shit talking them, because they're cunts. Uh, the two bands who went through were them because they got all their mates to vote for them, and another band who I am gonna shit talk, and I'm sure people can go find out who they are, which band I'm talking about, but dad rock. That's what they are. They're old men who play dad rock, really, and it's quite clear that it was rigged in their favor by the like judges, because oh well they've been here for ages, so we call it the fruit. Also, one of the people voting quite clearly is he's an asshole, and he has issues with other bands who might be an issue for him. It might overtake him his band popularity. I'm just gonna go out and say that. So, eventually, Ugandan, whatever they're called, drop out, so they don't do the next show. They showed up, played, won, got all their mates to vote for them, and then dropped out. Cunts. So my guitar teacher's band ended up getting through because, oh well, Ugandan, whatever they're called, well they're gone. So the next show, the one band who won was the old dad rock band. Who again, it was nepotism. It was, oh they've been here for ages, just let them through, because they had the most fucking dead set. Like their set was dead. There was, it was dead. The crowd was dead. They literally killed the crowd. And the two bands who came after them, well, which being my guitar teacher's band, had mosh pits and all that. None of that in this old man band. Like, it was a dead crowd. Like, I went to the pit with a fucking chest injury. I started the pit with a chest injury. Like, that's how good a set it was. The fucking vocalist from my guitar teacher's band, right? He's responsible for me getting a chip on the back of my tooth. That tooth I got him put in that day, and I still told him afterwards, great set, man. That's how good a set it was. And yeah, it was nepotism. That's all it was, and it was fucking ridiculous. And that's the Dundee scene in a nutshell. It is people who who are worried that other bands are going to overtake them in popularity. Children of old men getting through because, oh well, he's my son, so I gotta get him things, even though he's shit. And old men getting through because, oh well, they've been here for ages, so we gotta give them. It's you know when the Oscars will give someone an Oscar for a movie they didn't deserve the Oscar for, but he's been here enough times, so let's give him it this time.
Yeah,
That's
like they feel like they messed up by, or maybe not messed up, but the person deserves an Oscar by now. But
yeah.
the movie they put out isn't very good. But the fact that they
Well,
haven't
it's not
given
that
them
it
an
wasn't.
Oscar yet also
It
is like,
well, not that it wasn't very good. Just that it wasn't like an Oscar worthy. Like example, it's usually given it is Scorsese winning it for The Departed. The
yeah, yeah,
Departed is
that's the
it's a
perfect example.
it's a pretty good movie, but it's like he has much better movies, and
Yeah,
he should have won it for say Goodfellas, much better movie, or Taxi Driver, much better movie. It was quite simply, oh, we've never given him one. He deserves one by now. Let's give him it now, despite it not being the right film for it. That's what happened here, and that's what happens in a Dundee scene. And the worst part is we've probably got the third best scene in Scotland. And that gives you an idea how bad it is.
yeah,
It's frustrating because there are really good bands here, and there's some really good people. The band who I used for this second intro for PCM podcast, it was Gunslinger by Nocturne Wolf, who I said I'd been to like a local festival. They'd played there in one in Dundee, and those guys are really cool. I talked to them after their set. Really cool guys. There are just really cool people and some really good bands, but it's just like there's so much like backstage politicking, and that's not to say I don't backstage politic in podcasts, but I don't like make shows worse for it. I still do a bit of backstage politicking, but it's no one notices. With this, it's just like there are bands who should be way ahead who aren't because of shit like this, and it's fucking embarrassing. And most of the people who have power in this, like who organize shit in the scene and stuff, get called fucking assholes by everyone behind their backs. Like the guy who booked Metal to Masses and booked that festival, same guy. Everyone who I've talked to about him have all said he's a fucking dickhead. And my experience having talked to the guy, he's a fucking dick. And it's a few people who have more power in the scene than they probably should, just making it worse for everyone. And god fucking damn, I hate it so much.
It does suck to have like that sort of situation.
It's still better than Power Trip, but like it's still not good either.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, no, it's just there's a reason why there've been very few bands to come out of Scotland that are like famous in metal. I mean, we've got Ailstorm, and I'm blanking. I'll be honest, I'm blanking now. We have Ailstorm. That's all we got.
Yeah.
They came from Perth, which isn't too far. That's like an hour from me. That's where I'm going to college for. But
I didn't realize that Ailstorm was. I mean, like I know they're pirate shtick, but I guess I didn't notice that they were Scottish.
oh yeah, they're all. I mean, the main man for Chris Bowes does not live in Scotland anymore. When he got famous from Ailstorm, he moved to Tennessee.
Oh no shit.
Uh,
Okay.
if that gives you an idea, what Scotland's like, man gets famous, immediately leaves. Uh, literally, that is what happened. But no, they are. Yeah, they started in Scotland, and like I know there's other bands who are now doing the pirate stick as well. There's a really good band. I don't know if I'd call them thrash or death metal. Probably thrash. Called Swashbuckle, who are really good. Their fucking merch sucks, and they need to get better looking shirts because my god. But good band though. But shit like this is just why nothing comes out of Scotland. That and all the retarded politics people spew that literally just hurts them. Because goddamn, I've seen some embarrassing shit. I was at a
I'll
show.
believe that.
Yeah, I was at a show, right, where it was for a start, the venue was fucking cringe as shit. It was like they had the trans flag up everywhere. They had like political stickers that were just stupid, and it was like ridiculous progressive. Like those like really cringe like Trump cartoons you'd see on Facebook. Like it was like of the tier of that. Or like those like Antifa punching Nazi stickers when it's like, bruv, I'm questioning how many Nazis there are in Scotland. There ain't many. Take this is from someone who has conversations with literal Nazis. There ain't many in Scotland, so you're gonna struggle to find ones to punch. Stupid venue, but the worst part was there was the second band who played then. They literally opened every song with the vocalist shouting "fuck the Tories," which is just that's cringe, bro. I don't like
It is cringe.
but that's cringe. Have
It's on brand for Scotland. It's on brand for Scotland, but
Well, I wasn't the only one who
cringe.
thought it was cringe because that was my guitar teacher's band who was playing as the headliner who organized it, right?
Oh god.
So he plays drums, right, and that because he plays both instruments. And I was talking to him about it afterwards. They're never booking that band again entirely because of it.
Oh,
because
really? Okay.
like he was like also just thinking, oh, that's really embarrassing. That's just, what the fuck are you doing? Uh, so yeah, they're never getting booked again by them. So they literally just cost themselves an opportunity. Then to the fact of my whole take on politics and music is, have subtlety, please. Just shouting "fuck the Tories" is just, it's cringe. How
So by subtlety, I guess what you're trying to, I assume you mean be at least as subtle as Rage Against the Machine.
well like that, or like, well, the example I always give for like what I think is like really good politics and music is my favorite band of all time, Dream Theater. So they have a song called "On the Backs of Angels," right? And the whole song is about the financial crisis of 2008. However, you can like listen, you can like read these lyrics, and how if you don't notice, you can like go, oh, it's about something completely different, right? We pull up the lyrics. Uh, so like here's the lyrics. I'll get the ones up that are like pretty obvious. Riding out the wave, content to feed off the machine, bleeding us to death, the new American dream. You're blinded by your hunger, beware your days are numbered. Like, if you don't know it's about that, you can interpret it in other ways, but that is what it is about, right?
Yeah.
That's good way of doing it. Rage Against the Machine, they've got a few decent songs here and there. Wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of them overall though. They've got a few hits here and there. They're also like huge fucking idiots and hypocrites. Fucking Tom Morello trademarking his own name. Uh, but yeah, like just have a subtlety like that. Just if your song can be interpreted in multiple ways when it comes to politics, you did a good job. That's it. That's my take on it as a whole. Or like, and that's not to say every Dream Theater song that has politics in it is like that. They've only got a few. They've got Sacrifice Sons, which is basically just 9/11 bad, uh, and Prophets of War, which is basically just war profiteering bad.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they like in the 2000s they kind of went through that where it was 9/11 bad, war profiteering bad, 2008 financial crisis bad. Uh, yeah, and it was that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Or like even someone like you take what we talked about before about Nine Inch Nails and the song "The Hand That Feeds."
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Even that, it's like you can interpret that in other ways. Like the whole chorus of just how deep do you believe will you bite the hand that feeds? You can interpret that in other ways besides George Bush. But
Yeah.
like that is what it was intended as. And even having Bush behind him is like, that's not subtle, but it's like it's funny. Singing "The Hand That Feeds" while having an image of George Bush, just like a normal image of him behind you, is hilarious. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's so funny that I don't care if it's not subtle. Like either be funny, or be subtle. That's my take on it. The image of Bush, that's funny. If I ever start a band, I'll probably do something like that because it's funny.
Yeah.
Get a big picture of fucking Hamza Yusuf behind me, that fucking cocksucker. Yeah, that'd be funny. Or yeah, have the subtle Dream Theater lyrics. Don't just shout "fuck insert political party here," which is also just funny because imagine thinking that voting for a different political party is going to change shit. They are literally the same thing. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and say just the Tories and Labour are literally the same thing.
I do have to say, there's this part of me, this Chomskyite idealist that somehow managed to survive throughout the years that wants to be like, no man, nah, we can fix democracy. We just need to vote for the right people. We need better candidates.
Well, okay then.
Um,
Well, it's weird here, right? Because all the and when I talk to people who like Labour, right? They tell us that I get told that Labour are too much like the Conservatives, and they also think the Conservatives are far right, while the Conservative voters think the Conservatives are too like Labour, and Labour are far left. In reality, both are kind of just in the middle. I don't know if I'd even call the Conservatives right wing, but I don't know if I'd call Labour left wing. They're both kind of just like off center. Yeah, they're both progressive off center. Uh, because yeah, quite literally, it's people like to go. Oh, what's his name? Rishi Sunak. Yeah, he's a conservative. Like the most he has is women can't have penises, and that's about as far as he goes. And even then, he's not all the way on that topic either. It's no, it's neither side are right wing or left wing. They're just off center. And unfortunately, the Greens are morons, which is a shame because a Green Party could be based, but
yeah.
they're always morons. At least you got all the really funny jokes about voting for the Green Party just because they're green. Those, depending on how the jokes can be told, and I usually butcher them, can be really funny. The Green Party, we shall not judge you based off your shade of green. Or when people take that Martin Luther King speech, the one about not being judged for the shade of your skin or whatever, and they change
Yeah.
it to be not judged about the shade of your green. That's pretty funny. Those are pretty
Uh,
good, but in reality, those parties are fucking morons. I'm aware this is
yeah.
like getting really into politics, but and I apologize to anyone listening to us. I'm not interested in talking about politics. I don't know. I'm just kind of my take now is just it's pointless. I'm almost at the peace sells but who's buying take of uh, if there's a new way I'll be the first in line but it better work this time. I
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you.
that's kind of where my take is now is I don't give a shit. Just if I can buy a house and be reasonably free, I'm happy. Because currently
I,
I'm
I,
literally waiting for people to die so I can buy a house, which is not the way your society should be structured. Where you have one
yeah.
generation gets fucked, one maybe two generations get fucked over, one get a house, and then another two generations get fucked over while another one can get a house. Because literally, I like that's where we're at. Is I am waiting for the old people to die so I can buy a house. Which,
Wait. Do you mind if I ask you a little bit of detail on that one?
what do you mean?
Oh, like is that like you're waiting for your parents
No,
to
no, not
give
them.
you?
No, no. What I mean is that we have like no house in here. So what I'm waiting for is like
Oh, like all the housing market is filled up with like old people that are just chilling and
yeah.
not dying, and you're waiting for them to die so you can buy their.
I'm quite literally waiting for like my well my most of my grandparents are dead now anyway, but like that generation, I'm literally waiting for them to die so the market will open up again.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, that's.
Which is like a morbid thought, but like people are living too long. Like to a point where it's not helpful for anyone. Like yeah, it's nice that you can like be with your loved ones for longer, but like and don't get me wrong, like I'm not being unsympathetic. Like I've been very close with a few of my older relatives, but like at the same
Hey,
time,
Alistair.
yeah.
I got a pleasant thought for you.
What's the pleasant thought?
They're developing new medical techniques to make it so that that guy chilling in that house that you want to buy never dies of old age. And your boss, who doesn't know how to open up a PDF and doesn't know what Twitter is, he never dies either, and he never retires. And you have to deal
Cross.
with him for the rest of your immortal life, too.
That's just the point where I just go hang myself. Like Jesus Christ. We
I, sorry,
I think
I got in a heated argument with or I wasn't heated, but a guy who got really upset with me when we were talking about immortality technology,
yeah,
and I
you
was
mentioned this
like, dude,
last time.
you
Yeah,
don't fix society. Everybody living forever would make life hell. Like, I'd prefer to die.
yeah. Uh, I think that's a we that could be a general theme of the show at this point. Immortality bad.
Yeah, man. Immortality bad. Like, let's enjoy the moment. Like the falling sakura blossom, off of the tree as we walk out of the school or whatever,
Yeah,
You
we're
gotta have that anime mentality.
I guess we're Don Hertzfeldt for people who don't appreciate subtlety. Like he can be subtle about it. We just flag will tell you immortality bad.
Just immortality bad.
Yeah,
Don't wanna don't wanna live
I,
forever. You
I was
lose
gonna make the
everything.
joke that we're Don Hertzfeldt for people with no attention span. Then I remember all our episodes are 3 hours long.
Yeah. People with tolerance for faffing about, I guess.
Yeah, the people who have tolerance for my rambles, I guess. Which,
We are sort of master faffers when it comes to the
yeah,
rambling, I think.
well, looking at our analytics, I don't think anyone can put up with that. Though at the same time, homie tanked our fucking analytics, the cunt. Because I put in his name, homosexual, into the fucking the thing, right? And he believes that's what tanked our analytics. Is that
Uh,
it saw the word sexual and it just blacklisted us.
yeah,
Because
he needs a new nickname.
yeah, because the first episode did really well. Well, really well by our standards, being 21 views. For a
Yeah,
new channel, that's good, might I add. To anyone listening,
yeah.
you've never made a new YouTube channel. You don't know how it is. That's good for us. That's really good for us, actually. And then just it dropped off hard. And it's like, alright, why did that happen? And then it's, oh, well, his name was in the description of episode 2, and it was in the description and title of episode 3. So I guess this will be our point of testing, is do our analytics go back up again once we get that title out?
Hopefully the stain comes off us.
Hopefully, and hopefully we're not like permanently blacklisted as, oh, they're the guys who make sexual content, which we don't. I'm not a degenerate. He slightly is, but I'm not.
And
Uh,
I keep my degeneracy at least like wrapped in the tissue, so to speak. Like I try not to.
yeah, you're at least not one of those leftists who let me in on everything they're into. I have no clue what you're into, and I don't want to know. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, there's those fucking people who just, they're like publicly like, I'm into leather or what's fuck called latex or whatever. I don't want to know what people are into. It's truly not something I care about, and most of the time it's kind of disgusting. Uh, I am I am the force sent by the universe to kink shame people, but at the same time I'm not fucking Matt Walsh with his theocracy. Like, do what you want behind closed doors. Just I don't want to know.
Yeah, yeah.
Though I do keep getting ads for his documentary "What Is a Woman."
Oh God.
To be fair, some of it is like I've seen clips. Some of it is kind of amusing. Or like,
Okay, I
to be fair to him, like he goes to some I want to say it's like an African village, like one of these like actually like native ones, to talk to them, and he's like asking like the head of that tribe, can a man become a woman? And the guy's just like perplexed at what the fuck is this guy talking? What is this Westerner talking about? That's kind of amusing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, that's well, considering you like Tom Green, that is like
yeah, yeah,
a similar.
just the idea of yeah, explaining all these concepts that people have come up with, just at least in my opinion, just to cope with the fact that there's no meaning to our lives in this society, and then go hand it to a guy who lives a primitive life, and hit him to just go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" That's kind of funny. Uh, yeah, that at least to me is amusing. So,
Though
still don't like Matt Walsh though. I'll give him credit. That was like a pretty funny idea to come up with though.
I I I really do wish he had also gone and talked to some of the indigenous people that do the third gender thing, because that would have been
Are any of them still around though?
hilarious. What'd you say?
Are any of them still around though?
That's a good question. I would have to check. I know there's some shamanic traditions
I
in
I,
like
I
indigenous peoples, but I have no idea if that's still like as is right now, right?
I'm
And
aware it
like,
was a thing. I don't know if it still is. I know that's
yeah,
usually
might not.
because if it's not, it's like, well, what's he meant to do then? Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
no clue. Honestly, it's not a debate I care about. So, I think both sides kind of need to shut the fuck up about it. Both sides kind of have no life, is how I would put it.
The ultimate lib center answer. Like, I don't care what the hell you're doing. Just shut the hell up and leave me alone.
Literally, because yeah, you've got the rightoids literally bringing up trannies in every fucking debate, and then you've got the leftoids who go to an AEW show and have their crowd sign be, "Oh, protect trans kids," which mother. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go out and say this. If you're going to a wrestling show and your thought of what your crowd sign should be is a political statement, kill yourself. Like, genuinely, just end your life. Like, go become part of 42%, get a chair, tie a noose, and attach it to something up, and then drop the chair and die.
You clearly don't enjoy politics in your wrestling.
In a storyline, it can be funny at times. Jack Swagger had that "We the People" shit that was kind of amusing, but like, it's more or less if you're going to something for entertainment and your first thought is how can I politicize this, you're sad. Like, imagine just being unable to enjoy entertainment without thinking, without seething about politics for 5 minutes. That is actually the point where you have brain rot and you should end your life. It's just
The one thing I'll say is I understand why certain people try to politicize everything because there's specific issues that both sides see as being like this existential threat to life and reality.
yeah, but it's more or less no one's gonna watch AEW and see the protect trans kids sign and go, "You've changed my opinion on this topic."
That's true. That's true.
To be
Right?
fair,
Like it does feel like
there was a really good edit. To be fair, where someone edited the sign to say "Super Kick Trans Kids." That was really funny. To be fair, that was really good. But at the same time, it wasn't worth it. I'll see if I can find that. I'll see if I can try find the Super Kick Trans Kids thing. That was hilarious. It was literally like, I'm how I find photos on my PC is I don't like name them. So if I'm trying to find a specific event, I try to remember if I saved the meme post Queen death or pre Queen death, because I have a bunch of memes of right when the Queen died. And that's how I judge it. Is did this happen before or after the Queen died? Which any monarchist in the fucking PCM server is going to be seething the moment I say that.
do you think there are monarchists?
Oh, there are. Yeah, there are.
What, seriously?
I mean, like, even just the British ones. Like, if you make jokes about the Queen dying, they seethe. I mean, when I say monarchist, I'll remind you, like, saying you're a monarchist is not a crazy thing here in Britain because, well, we have a monarchy. Uh,
Yeah, no, I just thought like
we
the
have
PCM server
we have a lot of
wouldn't
Brits as
have.
well. That's why.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
okay,
I
find
hadn't
it,
been on there in a while.
find it. Oh no, there's like a
Okay.
public one now. There you go. There's the edit. Like, come on, that's pretty funny to be fair. Like, I don't know what your take is on the topic, and I don't really care, so I'm not asking you to elaborate. But I'm assuming we can both agree that's at least a funny edit.
You know, I'm the kind of guy who can laugh at a Stone Toss comic while also saying that I completely disagree with everything he writes. So yeah, I can see the humor here.
Yeah,
Or I guess like anything. Oftentimes, like when you edit like photos, right?
yeah,
I've seen some stuff where it's like I totally disagree with the content of this message, but that was a pretty funny way of tweaking it.
yeah.
So
I mean, Stone Toss was a like no matter what his politics are, he's actually like quite good at comedic comic strips because I've seen some like left wing ones that are just dreadful. Most left wing comics are dreadful. Like at least the big ones for them, it's there's no joke. It's just political statement, no joke. Well, Stone Toss, to give him credit, he has a joke and he has a point because like that's why he has so many that just get turned into memes. Like you have the whole one where it's where it's they're explaining their new marketing for I think it was Burger King or something, and it's like, oh, we're gonna do this progressive political thing, and he gets us, okay, and how does this help us sell burgers? And the guy just asks, burgers? Like that's a meme at this point. Like it gets used a lot, and it's because it's funny. No matter what your opinion on the politics of it is, it's just he's good at taking a serious topic, shortening it down to a few panels, and making a funny joke out of it. Like the man's
yeah,
actually talented.
yeah, and it's the one thing I would say about that one in particular that's telling is like it became a meme because you can easily,
Turn it into
switch it
anything,
to
yeah.
be like anything, right?
And that's what's
Um,
quite a lot of his ones are like that. You can take the point of it and you can turn it in loads of ways.
yeah, because it's a lot of it's about like the comedic timing of like how it rolls out. Which is why, yeah, they're a lot of them are easily repurposable. Ugh. He's, but though he also does have some that are just like that's not funny. It's just a political opinion. But generally speaking, he can bring a joke. Ugh. Sorry, I'm like adjusting.
I'm sorry, I did not hear a thing you said.
Oh,
However,
really? Oh, okay.
okay, I was talking to my dad for a sec. However, I'm not going to ask you to repeat just for the viewing audience. So, I'm going to try take a guess of what you said and try continue from there. Uh,
Good luck.
okay, you were saying something about good timing. So, yeah, elaborating from that, yeah, a lot of it is timing based, and you can just you can take that burgers thing and you can turn it into a left wing meme, a centrist meme. You can turn it into fucking whatever, and that's how it is with a lot of them. Like you take the. Actually, I'm not going to reference that one, just because I don't want to get banned off YouTube. Uh, all I'll say is the one I was about to references a certain group of people from Israel. Uh, and yeah, let's not do that. Uh, though I also will just ignore Israel as a topic, even if I still don't understand why they're in Eurovision. Uh, Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's on apparently right now. I might be getting £100. Let's see.
the house actually, I don't. I need to
Uh,
go back and listen to what kind of songs they've been sending to Eurovision.
I need to look up just the things right now, just because if Sweden win, I get £100.
Oh, nice, nice.
So yeah,
What kind of band did they send this time? Is it
no
like?
clue. I didn't watch it.
Uh,
I just all I know is that if Sweden win, I get £100, and I really could use £100.
yeah, keep your fingers crossed, bro.
Can I just? I don't want to. You've got to make a BBC account to watch it on there. Fuck off! I'm not making
Don't they have it on YouTube?
that. It's not coming up when I look it up on Brave. Uh,
Okay, well, while you're looking, I'm going to like talk to the audience for a second in case they're, Americans and they don't know what Eurovision is, which
all right,
is a
good.
thing. It's a
I
thing.
forgot
Okay, so,
Americans
so hey
exist.
guys.
Okay,
Hey guys.
it's not allowed in my country apparently.
What?
Yeah, I went off the website. Apparently, it's not available in my country. All right, I'm looking
Holy
up.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, there isn't a live stream here. It's okay. I forgot. It gets played on our live TV. So
So they like block it on the oh,
YouTube. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that is lame.
that is lame.
But
Okay, you know what?
okay,
If you want
so
to like explain it, I gotta go take a piss, and I'm probably gonna make myself some toast. So I'll be back in a few minutes if you just want to give a huge ramble to the audience.
oh yeah, sure. Okay. I'll do that.
I'll be back in about 5 minutes
Uh
or so.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
sorry, just to leave you like
hey
that, but
guys.
yeah, I'll be back.
Hey guys. So, let's talk a little bit about Eurovision. And if you already know what Eurovision is, I apologize, but if you don't know what Eurovision is, it is a Europe-wide, and again, Europe is a little bit of a flexible definition because it includes Israel and Australia, even though Australia's on the other side of the world. It is a Europe-wide song contest where a sort of national group selects an artist and some song to represent the country. All of Europe sort of tunes in to watch these live performances and vote on who should go through the rounds and ultimately win the contest. And it's a big old thing that happens every year, and sometimes it's actually pretty cool. And there was actually, if you haven't watched the Netflix Will Ferrell movie about Eurovision, um, even though it is obviously a joke, you can get a real feel for what Eurovision is if you go watch it. So I would advise you, if you have not dipped your toes into Eurovision, to go check it out on YouTube, right? There's some good music. I don't know if you ever caught like the sax guy, epic sax guy meme. That was a Eurovision song. Sometimes there's weird stuff, sometimes there's boring stuff, but there's a lot of stuff. So that's Eurovision. And I suppose that's that topic, but we probably still have a little bit of time left before Alistair gets back. So that does leave us with the question of how to spend this time. Uh, I, for one, have no real idea and am somewhat. Yeah, okay. Well, let's do an impromptu poetry reading of The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats. It's a good poem. It's a good poem. Uh, you know, sort of set. I believe it was written in the eve of World War One. But if you ever like dark poetry, I would suggest you check this out. So, The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in sands of the desert, a shape with lion body and the head of a man. A gaze blank and pitiless as the sun is moving its slow thighs, while all about it real shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born? Yeah, it's a short one, right? But, uh, you know, I think especially now, we live in a society where things seem to be breaking down, seem to be surrounded by madness, right? Where, as the poem says, the best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. And even the the visuals of the poem, referring to this idea that all of this coming together makes it seem like we're at the cusp of some kind of revelation, the cusp of something coming, like that everything seems to be converging into some kind of moment of massive change waiting to happen. And I think for a lot of people, especially young people now, seeing this society that they're being thrust into with inflation and the virus shutdowns, national health systems breaking down. Um, there's a lot to identify with in this poem, and with the mindset of the people at that time, even though they were dealing with world wars. But the sense of an era of peace coming to an end. So yeah, that was just my moment of plugging poetry for a second. Um, W.B. Yeats, The Second Coming. And again, if reading poetry inspired by or out of these people that went through very dark times is something that might work for you. I also recommend T.S. Eliot. Again, a lot of work influenced by the age of war in the early half of the 20th century, um, with the Wasteland, the Hollow Men. But I do believe that in the still silence of reading, as you're allowing your mind to wander, uh, a little poetry can really resonate with you sometimes if you find the right one. So, I suppose, in this little brief moment of respite, you and me, before Alistair gets back, I'd ask you to maybe go out and check out a little bit of poetry. If you like the dark ones, obviously the Yeats I just told you about or T.S. Eliot are good. If you like something bombastic, I would. My brain's ceased functioning. Carl Sandburg is another one that has a lovely, lovely, earthy, working class feel to the bombastic sense of his poetry. And I would ask you to check it out. Actually, you know what? Actually, no. I'm not going to inflict another poem on you right now, but I would.
Yes, it is.
Oh, hey.
I am now £100 richer.
Oh, nice.
Sweden,
Welcome.
Sweden won Eurovision. I got £100.
There you go, Alistair. Welcome back, by
Yeah.
the way. I did an impromptu poetry reading.
Oh God.
I think it was actually pretty good. I think I sold it.
To all the viewers, I am sorry for having to. You had to listen to that poetry, and I'm sorry you're gonna have to listen to me eat. I'm on a bulk, so. But nah, Sweden won Eurovision. Spoiler
There you
alert.
go.
But
There you go.
yeah, £100, pretty good. I was concerned for a second I was going to lose to Israel. Would have made me especially pissed off because it's not a legitimate nation.
I mean, do you have to phrase it that way? That sounds like, I, yeah. I started. How would I put this? I
It's not
take
because they're
issue with the
Jewish.
treat.
It's not
I
because they're
take
Jewish.
issue with the treatment of the Palestinian people, but I don't have an issue with the existence of the Israeli state.
I do. It had nothing to do with Jews. It's more or less. I think it's an illegitimate nation. That's all. Uh, the Palestinians are poor bastards, but let's not get into that. Mostly because I'm not uninformed on it. I will give a retarded opinion. uh, but no, still happy £100. I also needed it because I have the money. And now the Americans receive them because they've just discovered Eurovision exists. And I just insulted the person they give all the money to.
I don't think that's something that. Wait, is it?
What?
Wait a second. Ah, okay, sorry. Never mind. I was looking up time zones and my brain died for a moment.
Why? What were you thinking?
No. Well, just I was gonna say that I'm not sure that people get or actually do people some people yeah, people do get offended when people trash talk Israel. So never mind.
Yeah, Yankees do for some reason.
Uh, yeah.
I don't really get why, but
let's
get off that topic. Yeah. Uh, I'm
yeah. Let's move away from that topic. That's
yeah, I'm £100 richer. Uh, gonna need that for Bloodstock. Either that or I'm gonna buy tickets to Trivium. Undecided yet.
okay. But either way, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
It's a good little feather in your cap, right?
Yeah. I saw Trivium were playing with Orbit Culture, who are really fucking good, might add. So,
Oh, nice.
considering that. But, either way, I can't even remember what we were talking about. I completely derailed everything by needing to piss.
We were talking about Eurovision briefly.
Yeah.
And maybe I shouldn't have told you, and we should have just kept running in a different direction.
No, I needed to piss anyway. That's fine. But
But I did have like a little mini topic to talk with you about today.
was it magic?
Was it what?
Magic. I'm eating.
Oh, no, that's for a different day. Sorry,
Yeah.
audience, that's for a different day.
Sorry, I am eating,
Uh,
audience, but
oh.
I am bulking, and I expect the average person who would watch this is skinny as shit and has never seen a piece of toast in her life. Apparently everything I eat is bland, according to Homie. Look, I'm British, mate. British. Everything I eat is bland, mate. Yeah.
Do you guys not like put hot sauce on your food or anything?
No. I'm
Didn't
quite.
y'all invent
I'm quite
Worcester
literally.
sauce?
I'm quite literally eating plain toast right now.
Good God, you can. Did you butter and salt it or something?
It's buttered, but besides that, it's plain.
In a way, that's actually kind of impressive. I gotta say.
I eat 4 slices of plain toast every night.
What, like in a row?
Yeah. That's what I was doing. I was checking the Eurovision thing, taking a piss, and making myself 4 slices of toast. Yeah. Is that not normal?
Uh, I'm one of those people that has a pretty broad box for normal. So I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna say it's abnormal. Just I've never heard of it before, and I've never personally considered like, man, I could go for 4 slices of toast right now.
I have a mate who eats 6, so
Okay, no, it's I'll have to try that at some point. But I don't own a toaster. I don't own a toaster,
on a toaster.
dude. It's Japan. Like I don't have an oven either.
Get a lighter and just light one side and then the other.
I don't think that really works. I mean, I could do like the grilled cheese thing of like buttering a frying pan and frying a piece of bread.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
Can you not just do toasters just not exist in Japan or?
No, they do, but just like I don't like normally eat food out of a toaster, so I didn't buy one
Fair enough.
because like houses are small, and having like a big box that you never use, like a big electric box you never use, doesn't really make much sense to me. So
Fair enough. But no, I eat 4 slices of plain toast every night,
okay.
and I mean every night. Quite literally, it's because I'm trying to put on weight. So
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's an easy way to do it. Is because it's like what? It's midnight for me right now. Uh, like at night when you get to that point where it's you've had your tea, but like now it's midnight, so you would be getting to sleep, but you're getting a bit hungry because you've not eaten in a while. I then fill that space with more food, and it means that I technically have 4 meals a day, which means I'm putting on more weight.
Yeah.
It's a pretty apt strategy. I mean, I don't count calories. I think people who do are really sad. Uh, so I don't count calories. I just go, okay, am I full? Good. Am I not?
Returning to monkey
Am I not
on the
full?
diet front.
Bad. Yeah, literally. That and just I try to eat lots of protein.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I would say that if you're eating whole foods and you're, yeah, making sure you're eating to satiety, until you're satiated, instead of, yeah, that's my problem. My problem is I'm a glutton. Like I love to eat, and so it's kind of hard for me to tell when I'm full, and easy to tell like when my belly is stretching, right?
No, I determine when I'm full.
There you go.
I'm
There
pretty
you
good at
go.
determining that shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then you got it. You got it in the bag, man.
Yeah.
With your buttered toasts.
And they're fit. That's me finished them. Oh,
What'd you say?
I finished them. That's all four gone. But
Oh, wait, but I remembered the thing I wanted to say,
all right, good.
right? Because earlier we were talking about like anime, right?
Yeah.
And and the fact that like how old are the kids in your scout group? Maybe I shouldn't ask that question. Oh no, but just in terms of younger people like watching, say like Attack on Titan, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the things to me that's like a really big, I don't want to say like big issue because it's not like I feel it would be helped by like, left and right politicians coming in. But definitely, like they're not going to have anything, useful to add to this conversation. But like something that needs to be thought about is in our current internet connected age, like what is the best way to handle like media consumption by young people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
Because yeah, right. And this is the thing where like my own personal like idea, right, is you need to sit down with your kids or your nibblings or whatever and be like, you know, how would I say this? If you're a parent and you've got kids and you aren't living in like a Ted Kaczynski shack out in the woods, they're going to have access to the internet. And if you've got access to the internet, like that's the Pandora's box, right? Like unless you're just standing there watching them every second of the day.
Yeah, I mean, like, my parents tried to put like, I was like way younger. Like, my parents tried to put like parental settings on.
Yeah,
Don't.
but everyone gets through those, right?
Oh yeah, I did immediately.
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah. Literally,
Like
all you had to do, right, was you just took the tablet, iPad, whatever. You held down the power button, turned it off, and then turned it back on again, and that just got rid of them.
oh god, like that's an easily defeated filter.
Oh yeah, so it was like an
Um,
app. So like you clicked on the app, right? That like put you into the parental settings, and then you'd have to use a password to get out of the app. But because of how an iPad, like a tablet, works, it doesn't have any of the apps open when you like reset it. So
yeah,
you just
yeah.
restart it. I figured that out like really
There you
quickly.
go. And so to me at least, right? It's like a reasonable thing to believe that if you try to put filters on what a kid watches, most of the time they're going to get through them, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially over time, right? Like if you're putting on a filter, like maybe within 24 hours they're still, filtered or whatever. But it's like if you put on a filter like a year later, there's no way in hell they're not going to figure out a way to get past that thing. Um, and so if it's taken as a given that they're going to get through these, I think the only thing you can really do is actually just kind of have like good, open, non-judgmental dialogue and be like, the internet's an amazing thing for various reasons, but like it's also kind of like a bunch of weird, crazy shit. So like, talk it out, and don't necessarily think that everything you see is like good.
Oh no, my kids aren't getting access
Um,
to the internet.
what'd you say?
My kids aren't getting access to the internet. Fuck that. No.
Yeah, yeah, no. Well, this is the thing, though, right? Because like you could totally raise a kid to 18 without ever giving them access to the internet, but because of the way our society is structured, that gives them like a huge handicap, right? It's really a damned if you do, damned if you don't in a way.
Quite simply, here's what I do, right? You don't get till you're 16. Then when you turn 16, I'll explain, like, because, like, I know my way around some stuff. I then not just sit there and say, alright, here's what I know. And there you go, to right ahead. I mean, I'm probably ahead most people my age, and I don't even have stuff. I don't like use stuff like social media, and I'm still probably ahead of people my age. I had to explain to
Yeah.
like a whole group of girls that if you're downloading a photo off Google, if it's trying to download it, you know the file type that's like I think it's a WEP something file, the one that's just a link to the page on Google. It's not like the
Oh,
actual
like
image.
the .web, or
Yeah,
there's also HTML,
yeah,
but
whatever it's called, right? It was downloaded as that, and I had to literally just go, pass me the keyboard, typed .png, and that's all I did. And then it just said, when you're downloading images, just type that at the end. They proceeded to type that at the end, even when it was downloading it as a PNG in the first place. Which, which like, I've called myself technologically illiterate before, but like, if this is what I'm working with, I'm ahead somehow.
although that's another
Somehow.
thing I actually wanted to talk about that's sort of interesting, right? Because like, oh god, yeah, this is gonna be another one of those and reveal old moments, right? But I was sort of like young on the cusp of when the internet started hitting homes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like, the whole like Matthew Broderick in War Games put the phone on the beepy thing and it makes like the weird screaming computer noises and you connect to like a BBS that sends text and images come through one line at a time,
None
like
of this.
level
Yeah.
garbage.
None of this means anything to me. I've heard of war games, and I know
Oh,
Matthew.
okay, it's a pretty good movie, but it's
And
dated
I
at this
know
point. It's
Matthew Broderick from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and that's about it for me.
okay, okay. But I guess what I'm
I'm a
trying to say
youngin.
is, yeah, like I came in at a point when like younger generation or older generations like weren't growing up with it, right?
Yeah.
And younger generations, and this wasn't immediate, but like it was already there
Oh, sorry,
at some point,
so
right?
quickly. You keep talking. I'm just gonna send an image that I think is relevant.
Oh yeah, sure, sure. Um, and one thing, this pretty much is like my dad and me, except I was like fatter.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah, no, that's a real scene in The Sopranos.
yeah,
Tony
yeah.
just sees AJ on
Um,
his computer laughing and just look at disgust.
yeah. But the thing I wanted to say is, like when I was young, there was this idea that like old people were like looking at kids that just like messed around with computers and figured out how they worked, right? Like I don't think anyone ever gave me a DOS manual. Um, Though I must have had something, right? Because I managed to figure out how to freaking use it, and like how to set sound card settings and other things. And so there was a lot of stuff where it's like you got a sense for how to make things work, how to find information when it wasn't readily available. Um, and at the time, I thought that that would just be true. Young people would grow up with technology and like futz around with it and get a sense for it and then use it. But one of the things that's interesting to
Oh
me,
fuck no.
well, yeah, yeah, well, this is the thing. I think it that at the time because like the tech was such a fiddly piece of garbage that you couldn't depend on.
Yeah,
Like you had to sort of learn how to get into the guts of it sometimes to even use it, right?
no. What I think is crazy, right? Is from my experience, right? Like, yeah, these kids don't know piracy is just like. When I was in primary school, I figured out, oh, these are the good piracy websites for anime because I want to watch Naruto. And I was younger than most of these kids when I figured out, oh, this is the good website. Eventually, I found my like favorite website for pirated anime, and then it got shut down.
As they do, as
As
they
they
do.
do. That one lasted a wee while. It was called Anime Kissa. It was great. They had like if you went in right, they would like save what episodes you watched, so you didn't have to remember which one you were on. It's great.
Oh, that is pretty awesome, actually. I
It was
gotta
a
give credit for that.
I watched most of Dragon Ball Z on that. It was a top tier website, and then it got shut down. And to be fair, those bastards they were so great. They listed a bunch of websites they thought were pretty good that you could use instead. So now if you try go onto that, it says we've shut down, but here are some other good websites you could use. Which is
Yeah, yeah.
like those guys are great. Just it's just stuff like that. Like whoever ran that website is a based individual. Just like yeah, it was like what you were saying earlier about people who like clearly care. Like they didn't need to say list those websites, but the fact they did shows they care. So yeah, great guys. Top tier website. It's gone now.
But
I don't watch much anyway these days, so I don't really need to find a new one. But yeah, no,
you should watch anime. You should watch anime.
I just don't.
It heals the soul.
I just don't watch much anymore. It's not even just like anime. It's just like I don't watch TV much anymore either. Like, the point I always
I
make
mean,
is
to be honest, yeah, me neither.
I mean,
But
the point I always make is quite literally like in the last year I've watched two shows in full, and I've started watching one, and they're all weird Adult Swim shows, and bar the one I've just started watching, they're all really short. And
huh?
it's just I don't have, I can't be bothered watching most shows now. So unless I see some like weird Adult Swim show where I'm like, that looks funny, I'm going to watch that. I just don't bother. Uh, and even then, I just pirate these shows. I don't even watch them legally. Like, well, I mean, saying I pirated World Peace technically isn't true. The whole fit because Adult Swim refused to like show that show anymore. The entire thing's on the Internet Archive for free.
That's good.
Yeah.
Though I do hate it when like you've got that weird like thing where they won't even sell the show in any format. Like,
Oh
ugh.
no, that's just because they don't want to associate with the show.
Really?
Yeah. So all I need to say, right? The show was made by Sam Hyde. Does that give you an idea on why they
Uh,
don't want to associate with it?
wait, Sam Hyde, like the wrestler guy?
He fought someone and but he's like a comedian. Oh, so I'm assuming you're just familiar with him because of the Candyman thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he'd been a comedian for like 2 decades at this point, and then he had been like he's a big boy, and he joked about wanting to fight a few people and he would have. So he said he wanted to fight Joe Rogan, nothing about it, and then it became then there was the joke for a while even after he boxed that one TikTok guy that he wanted to fight Hassan Piker. But that was just a thing he did. He did one fight, right? But that's just Sam's career as a whole. Is he just does something, just because like yeah he becomes interested in doing something, does it for a wee while, and then does something completely different. Like you can't really pin the guy down. Like currently
Okay.
he's doing a show called on the internet you can just look up called Fish Tank, where they have like a bunch of people in this house and they're just really fucking with them, and you can pay money to fuck with these people. It's kind of like have you ever heard of that show Big Brother, the one that from Britain, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
in the house.
yeah, it's like a more fucked up version of that,
Huh.
and that's what he's doing right now. I saw a really good clip of it where he has boxing gloves on and he just starts punching all the what the fuck are they called, like the cupboards. He just starts punching the cupboard doors and they start coming off, and it's just like so fucking weird. It's great, but like yeah, he's kind of always just done what he wants to do. But in 2016, he had a sketch comedy show with his sketch comedy group Million Dollar Extreme on Adult Swim called World Peace, which ran for 6 episodes, and it's my favorite show of all time. It's hysterical. Like it is the funniest show ever made. I stand by that 100%. It is.
Okay, I guess you'll have to link me to some place I can go watch this.
Oh, it's entirely it's entirely on the Internet Archive. You can watch it in an hour. It's
Oh, okay.
it's 6 10-minute episodes, but it's brilliant. I've shown it to all my friends, and all my friends think it's hilarious. Uh, I've never shown everyone I've shown it to thinks it's really funny. It's fucking weird though, and it will leave you confused at times. But it got cancelled for obvious reasons. If you've seen any of the sketches, they really pushed the line, and they flat out made fun of the fact they were pushing the line at times. Uh, but it is just it's brilliant. Like the whole claim that Sam Hyde is the best comedian of our generation, I fully stand by that statement. He is a genius, at least when it comes to comedy. But yeah, no, like the whole Candyman thing, that was just a character he did for his boxing.
Huh. Huh. Okay.
Because
Well,
there's no way he would have just done boxing normally. He always has to do something retarded like that. But yeah, getting his content can be difficult at times because I know he does a lot of Gumroad, but I don't have the money to subscribe to his Gumroad. But like you find re-uploads here and there. Like
yeah.
like though I do know they're doing World Peace 2 independently, which holy fuck I'm excited for that. I absolutely cannot wait for World Peace 2 because they did that and then they had Theatre the Air, which I've seen one episode from. It's the really famous one where it's what not to say on a date, and that's really funny as well. Where it's 20 minutes of Sam pretending to be on a date and him just going on rambles about the most like retarded things. So like, he gets asked by the woman, "Oh, if you could be anyone from a period of time, who would you be?" And she's like talking about, "Oh, I want to be Amelia Earhart, be a pilot and all." And his answer is, he would be any man at any point in history where marital rape is legal, and he just starts rambling about how like under a modern standard, like now it's like it's bad and all, but back then it would have been elegant. I would have enjoyed it, but like that's because then and he just starts rambling about that for like 5 minutes.
man went full Crowder.
Yeah,
That's Jesus.
and then he
Okay,
and then
so
he,
that style of humor is
oh, but
what?
it gets better though because he then has like a 10 minute rant, well ramble about how if he was in World War Two, he would have been Hitler's top guy, and he was saying how like um, if someone with that level of panache as an Adolf Hitler, you don't say no to Adolf Hitler when he hones in on you and he goes, "You're my top guy." You know, you've got enough. All you can do is go, "Oh, I'm Adolf Hitler's top guy, dude," uh, and like there's this moment where he's just going, "What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm Adolf Hitler's top guy. Adolf Hitler chose me to lead the revolution." And he's having this 10 minute rant at this woman who may have added that her grandparents died in Auschwitz, and he's just rambling for 10 minutes
Jeez.
at her, and he's like saying
Okay,
shit like, "You know what? I got your back. I'm going to bat for you, Hitler." It's brilliant.
okay, so definitely leaning into the absurd and shocking.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's entirely just there for you to go, what the fuck is this? Like, yeah, a lot of his, especially in World Peace, a lot of it was surrealist, and it was literally just there to confuse you at what the fuck am I watching? This is just, it's just weird. Like, there's a whole sketch in the first episode of World Peace where Mark Zuckerberg's at some interview, and like loads of weird like headlines are coming up about someone in Facebook sniffing a bicycle seat or something. I can't remember. And then he gets kidnapped by a bunch of guys in red suits with these like red smiley faces on them with on their masks. They like put him in like a bag, just throw him into the back of their van, just drive the van out of there. Let the back door comes out. He rolls out, and just starts rolling onto this football pitch. One of these guys in the suits then open the bag and just blood sprays out, and that's it. That's the sketch.
that's the sketch.
Yeah,
Okay,
where shit like that.
definitely leaning into the absurd and shocking.
It's just you see shit like that, and you're just left going, what the fuck am I watching? but it's all really good. As I said,
Okay.
it's my favorite show ever made. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I've shown it to all my friends, but like I probably would not show it to my parents. It's like a lot of it is that newer internet humor where it's like it doesn't need to make sense to be funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my dad, he likes shows like Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Trailer Park Boys, and I like those shows. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think they're all really good shows. I have a Trailer Park Boys metal play up on my wall. I think it's a really good show, but like those shows have setup and a punchline and all. Like they make sense. They can be like a shocking at times, but like they're not absurd. Like they make sense for the most part. Trailer Park Boys slightly less, but yeah, this is definitely is more of that newer like I'd say partially millennial, more Gen Z kind of humor where it is just it doesn't need to make sense if it's funny.
Just yeah, the utterly weird.
Yeah, and that is the show. That is the show. It's just weird. Um, where yeah, that's how I always put it. It's just you're left going, what the fuck am I watching? What is this? Like the very first sketch is they're at like Sam and Nick and all. They're playing characters at a wine party, and Nick, one of the other guys from the show, is playing Sam's brother, and he's just insulting Sam's wife, like directly to Sam and his wife's face. He's like saying, "I can't stand to look at you, but it's not because you, because you're my brother and I love you. It's this dog of a woman you married," and he's saying shit like this to like just to his face, no reaction, and then Sam's just like not really reacting to it, and like it's weird because you'd be thinking someone would be reacting way more harshly to stuff like this, and then his wife goes up to get more wine. Nick trips her, smashes a bottle on her head when she's fallen. She goes through like this glass table. She's got blood all over her, and the reaction isn't "Holy fuck! You just put my wife through a table." It's Nick, what's going on, big guy? You just tripped my wife. And it's just it's such an anti-reaction. It's brilliant. And like Nick gives the bigger reaction because because he starts denying that he put the wife through the table, and when he's given a bigger reaction for getting accused of putting Sam's wife through a table than Sam is given for his wife going through the table. And I'm sure anyone listening right now is going, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" Go watch, go watch World Peace. It's Kino to the highest degree. Uh, Quite literally, it is a top five Kino. If we're talking
Okay.
TV shows, it's a number one Kino. Greatest comedy series
I'll
ever made.
I'll try to check it out.
I'll send a link in here for you. I've shown bits of it to Homie. He thought it was pretty funny. But there's quite a few cut sketches I'll send to you as well, because there was a few ones where there was like there was no way they were getting on TV.
Oh shit.
And it's like it's not like they were like offensive up front. It was more or less like if you read into it, it's a oh, that's what they meant kind of thing.
Uh,
Uh, and there's
uh,
and there was a few sketches that like had to be changed because of what they were going to have said in it. The, I don't know if I can talk about one of them and how they. You know what? I'm just gonna go out and just mention it. So they have one sketch where it's like a kids like show where they've got all these like costume characters like Disneyland or something. And like all these kids and these costume characters are like playing instruments and it's like yeah, it's a kids show. And then the only word they sing throughout it is Jews rock. And the point is it catches you off guard, right? And then they start showing like the Adult Swim producers and like actual producers on the show behind the scenes who are like on their phones and not paying attention. So they flat just mock the people behind the scenes for not paying attention to what they're making and just letting them off with it. But the originally what it was going to have said was Jews rule, which
uh,
I'm assuming you can
uh,
take. like the original the version they released is funny, but like if it was Juice WRLD, it would have been fucking hysterical. That's you can interpret that two ways, shall we say?
Yeah, though that's sort of cross compass unity as like a joke thing, right?
Yeah, but it seems the Adult Swim producers actually got off their phone and saw what they were making it and went, "What have we put our money into?" It's not surprising the show got cancelled after one season. Also, this was 2016, and Sam Hyde had openly said he supported Donald Trump, which was another thing.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's you
I,
know,
I mean, to be fair,
like
depending on no matter what your take on Trump is, I think if someone openly supported Trump in 2016, I think it's a little different to openly support him in 2020, shall we say?
oh yeah, no, definitely. Definitely.
Because yeah, there's a
Um
lot of people I like who were like Trump supporters in 2016 because they were like, look, he's a different. Like my favorite guitarist of all time is John Petrucci, who is the guitarist for Dream Theater, and like he had like made comments in like 2016 that like, look, he's something different. I think we should give him a go. He's different to all these politicians we've had before. And to be fair, John Petrucci does not say much about politics usually. And there's like people who still seethe about him saying this like to this day, which is just like Christ Almighty. Like literally all he did was say that, and he was following Trump on like Instagram or something. Might I add, he has since unfollowed him. If that gives you,
oh really? Okay,
yeah.
there you go.
But there are people who still seethe about this to this day, which is just like, get a fucking life. Like
Some people just really like to seethe.
yeah, it's like the man plays guitar well. I'm not a John Petrucci fan for his biting political takes. In fact, the members of Dream Theater rarely speak about politics. Like as I said earlier, they have like 4 songs about politics. They have like 15 albums, and they have 4 songs about politics. Like that's impressive, for how
Yeah.
little they talk about it. Because they're not a political band. They are I would quite literally just describe them as the ultimate centrist band of, I mean, like, their takes weren't out there either as well. It was war profiteering bad, 9/11 bad, uh, financial crisis is bad. Like, I think everyone can agree on that. Maybe not Lib Right when it comes to war profiteering bad, but either way, it's like,
Yeah, or financial crisis, like, it's
true.
like, oh, the economy having a recession is bad. It's like, okay, well, we should stop people from bundling subprime loans as financial instruments and then getting rich off of it and running away and not having any punishment, right? It's like,
Yeah.
no, no, we shouldn't have any laws to stop that. That would,
But no, like either way, most of those takes are fairly centrist.
yeah,
They are
yeah,
quite literally like, fuck this, we don't care about politics. We're just gonna play our instruments really well. That is them as a band,
yeah.
and they're really good. So, yeah, they are quite literally the ultimate centrist band. Uh, and that's why I'm confused by people see that for political reasons. Like that is a get a life moment.
I'll
Uh,
agree with that.
Though, yeah, it's weirdly the leftists who seethe about politics from bands, to be honest. Because, I mean, the Trump supporters play Ashes of the Wake by Lamb of God at their rallies, and Rage Against the Machine, which all I'll say is it's like if they played The Hand That Feeds by Nine Inch Nails at their rallies, which I don't think they have yet. Ashes of the Wake, openly anti-Bush album. I don't think I need to explain Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
Yeah, they seem to just not understand the politics of these bands. I can't wait for the anti climate change protesters to play a Gojira song at one of their protests. That'll be funny. Because I'm pretty sure they fly just have a song called Global Warming. Time to check now, because I can't remember if they do. But like most of their music is about like the environment being destroyed and stuff like that. Kino band. The one album I thought it was on, it's not. So they might not. I'm actually gonna check this now because I can't remember if they do or not. I mean, they do have a song called "Toxic Garbage Island," which I think says enough.
Yeah, it does say enough. I think their stance on garbage islands is pretty clear.
They do, they do have a song called "Global Warming."
There you go.
It's on "To Mars from Mars to Sirius," which is my favorite of their albums.
Okay.
That probably explains why I remember. Yeah, it's the final track on it.
Okay.
That is a Kino album. Also, really cool album cover. It's so basically the whole album is about how like the whales are ancient creatures, and eventually, because like the planet gets so destroyed, they all just fly and leave. Because like whales can actually fly apparently. Like they flat out just have a song in it called "Flying Whales," and it's really good. I know it sounds fucking insane, and like again it's a what the fuck are you talking about? Whales don't fly, they're not ancient creatures, but nah, it's really good.
The old concept albums. I'll check that out. Gogeta from Mars to Sirius.
Yeah, they played Flying Whales when I saw them in February. That was really cool. That was a really good concert, even if I did have a chest injury, which meant I couldn't. I mean, there were sitting seats anyway, but standing seats would have been nice if I didn't have a chest injury.
Yeah.
Though I've seen them on a Marfinchon, so with standing seats, so I'm pretty excited for that. Though for some reason I've noticed some people see online about a monomarth as well, because Mum Mellow Death bad, and this is coming from a man who sieves about new metal. Like I'll say it, I sieve about new metal. I know I do. New metal and butt rock make me fucking sieve, but still.
Wait, did you say butt rock?
Butt rock, yeah. Have you never heard of this?
What is butt rock?
So it gets. I'll get up a definition. I can tell you two bands who fall under butt rock: Nickelback and Five Finger Death Punch. All right.
Oh, so it's just crappy music.
So okay, here we go. Here's the Urban Dictionary definition for you: a style of hard rock and heavy metal music that is watered down both musically and lyrically to garner maximum radio play and mainstream acceptance. Lyrical themes are drawn from a put-on tough guy / bro persona and include being a badass, getting lots of pussy, strippers, partying, and being betrayed or alone. Image-wise, butt rock bands typically consist of guys in their mid-30s with spiky hairs, affliction t-shirts, and bad tattoos, usually barbed wire or tribal. The typical fan emulates this fashion style and exhibits what they think are manly personality traits, such as frequently drinking energy drinks, driving an unnecessarily large truck, and otherwise overcompensating for an insecurity in their masculinity. They also tend to have a superficial knowledge of metal music, being familiar with only bands that receive regular radio rotation. Examples of butt rock bands include Five Finger Death Punch, 3 Days Grace, Buck Cherry, I don't know who they are, Nickelback, Disturbed, and Three Doors Down. And the quote they have is, "Alright, that was Five Finger Death Punch with Jekyll and Hyde. Coming up next, we got Buck Cherry with Crazy Bitch for all you ladies out there, right here at KBRO, Nothing But Rock." Nothing but rock. Oh, nothing but rock. Okay. Does that give you an idea?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, so it comes
butt
from.
rock seems like the perfect title
Right. So I get it. It's
for
from
that kind of music.
from
Yeah.
the radio stations. They'll say nothing but rock. Right. That makes sense. But it's spelled with two.
Oh,
But it's spelled with two T's.
that's
Because,
why it's nothing but rock. Yeah.
But no. Homie enjoys that some Five Finger Death Punch, and I think Proxy likes Disturbed. So those are your average. Yeah, he actually flatly just said he thinks Disturbed are better than Tool, because I chose a song I knew would make him seethe. and I told him to listen to it. I'm assuming you're not familiar with Disgust the Painted by Tool.
Oh, wait, I think I've heard of it.
It's like 15 minutes. It opens with Maynard playing like a Christian preacher who's talking about how an angel came to him and made him hear the cries of the carrots, and he declares that they are people too. Let the rabbits wear glasses, and like there's sheep noises. Like he's quite clearly calling Christian people sheep in the song,
Yeah.
and then it sounds weird, and he literally just sings the same thing over and over again, and it's like it's kind of shit, but it's like I like it, but it's shit. I'll say it. I'll just flat just say it. It's a shit song. The opening section's really funny, but after that it's shit. But I like
Yeah.
it.
No,
It's on my playlist.
Wait. I, I think I might need to go to the bathroom.
Alright, that's no issue.
And I might need to like leave off pretty soon. I
Alright,
think
that's no
it's.
issue.
Have we been going for like about 2 hours?
Let's see. We've been going for 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
What do you think? Is butt rock a good place to possibly leave it off today?
I guess yeah. If you don't want to listen to butt rock, I guess I think we were both agreeing on Discord that Bandmate are surprisingly quite good.
Yeah. Hey, everybody out there, if you like metal, you should go listen to this Japanese
I don't know
band
if I
that's
call
got a
them metal.
gimmick.
I don't know if I call them
Oh,
metal.
that's true.
They're
They're
called
like rock, they're like a J rock
yeah,
band.
yeah. They usually get a little too poppy for metal. They're
That's
good.
true.
They're
J
good.
rock. They're
Yeah,
J rock.
they're J rock. They're good though. I was working out to them yesterday.
Yeah. They're J rock that a metalhead like Alistair can get down with.
Yeah, I'm not a baby metal fan until I think they're fucking dreadful, but I can enjoy me some Bandmate. Though if you want metal that has cute Japanese girls, Hanabi are pretty solid. Uh,
Oh yeah.
though they're really funny. Just where you take someone who doesn't like guttural, you show them it, they go, "This is awful," and then you bring up their album covers that are bright pink with cute anime girls on it, and you tell them, "This is too heavy for you." That's really funny to do.
This is the metalhead trap card, I suppose, right?
It is, yeah. Cute, pink, cute anime girl, too heavy for you. I'll admit I'm being a dickhead when I do that, but it's funny. Like, imagine being a grown man and being told, "This is too heavy for you." You get shown a bunch of tiny, cute Asian women.
Yeah. No. Anyway, I need to roll because seriously, I think I'm gonna have a
Fair enough.
bathroom before I hit the bathroom moment.
Do we
What?
need an outro or? Nah.
I mean, we didn't have an intro either.
From now on, no intro, no outro. So I guess, yeah, that's it.